Hello, this is BSJ, and this is going to be a tips and tricks video that I'm going to talk about some fundamental mechanics for CSing. So for some of you, this may seem very basic, and if you already do these things, then right on. But I don't want you to end up like me, where basically for everything except for the last year or so, I've completely avoided these mechanics. And these are the mechanics that I believe are the most refined for lasthitting. At the end of the day, you do have the option to do your own thing. You have your own style. If these don't work for you, then so be it. But from my time and experience watching a lot of other players and then doing it myself, these are the optimal mechanics for CSing. So first and foremost, I think one of the most important things you do is that you remove right-click force deny, and you do not use right-clicks to attack things. I think that's a very general but basic tip that I see a lot of players get mad at me for talking about, or they think they don't really understand why. So I'm going to explain that first and foremost. If you use right clicks to attack, then you are using the same hotkeys to move as you are to attack, which in first place I think is bad, because in your mind I like to compartmentalize my hotkeys, meaning like this row of hotkeys is my abilities, this row of hotkeys is my items, this row of hotkeys is my hotkey groups for controlling micro units. But then at the same time, when you're in the lane, you're either going to be moving or you're going to be CSing. And I think that having the same button for both can cause a lot of issues. And the main one is being that if I have right click to attack on, and all I'm doing is to right click attacking, if I'm a ranged hero and I want to right click this range creep, and I miss click even slightly, my hero is going to walk out of position. And that's really bad, especially at the highest levels of Dota. But if I just use A click, then my hero's going to do this, right? He's just like, if I miss, there's a lot of room for cushion on A clicking. And even if I miss, my hero is going to move and attack the closest creep, or the creep closest to my cursor, and that's dependent on your auto attacks or your smart attack setting. So for anyone who's wondering, I think this is personally up to your own decision, but this is an option you have. You can use smart attack move, and this makes it so that if you A-click the ground instead of a unit, your hero will attack the closest unit to where you clicked. So if you look at what I'm doing here, if I A-click the ground, I will select this unit, right? Like if I click right here, I will select this unit. But if I use regular without the smart attack move on, and I click right here, then there's no room for cushion, right? I'm just going to attack the unit that's closest to me. So I like the smart attack move because if you combine the fact that you're only using A to attack rather than right clicking, and then you have smart attack move on, it gives you a lot more room for misclicking options. And that will make it so that if you want to get this creep, if you click anywhere near this creep, you will attack the creep. But without smart attack move on, notice how the room for error is very little. So that's a couple major points I think that I wanted to start off with. That if you use right click to attack, you will oftentimes put your hero out of position anytime you misclick, which on range heroes can be very costly, either losing a lot of health or simply dying. So the next step is that what I used to do, this may seem so basic and almost terrible to some of you, is that I used to just do this, and then the minute the creep got low, I would attack it. So I'd do this, and then attack it when it got low. And so that seems like so easy to not do, or maybe some of you still do this. And my point is that if you do it that way, you are combining turn rates as part of your attack animation. So if your hero is not actually facing the creep, then suddenly you're going to be struggling with attack animations. Like, you're going to take that much more time inconsistently because wherever you're facing, it's going to affect you depending on the turn rate of your hero. So a very fundamental way to CS is to A-click it and then stop. And that will face my hero at the creep. So A-click stop. And now I'm looking at the creep, so the second I want to attack it, I just A, right? And like same thing with the knives. A-click stop. A-click stop. Now I'm looking at the creep. I think that's a great habit to get into and something that many of you may do, but it's something that I haven't done for a very long time, and it just looks a lot smoother. A-click stop, right? And now you're facing the direction of the creep so that you'll be able to perfectly time the CS. A-click stop. And that comes into play. Another hotkey point that I want to make is for anyone who's not using it. It's the same as quick cast, but it's quick attack. So when I have quick attack on, if my mouse is over this creep, I just have to push A. I didn't click at all. I just have to push A to kill that creep. But if I do not have quick attack on, which I will show you right now, then I have to push A and then click, right? It gives me a cursor and then I have to click it. And that just makes A click stopping that much more difficult. It's just 2 extra clicks in there. You're going to have to A click stop and then A click to kill the creep, like this. You're going to have to A click stop and then A click. Instead of just without the clicks involved with quick attack on, you simply push A, S, A, right? Like that's all you have to do. Push 3 buttons instead of 5 to do the same exact action. And with that in mind, you're not, like, if people like using right clicks instead of A clicking because it's 1 hotkey instead of 2, that solves your problems right away, and you're not going to have that trouble of overstepping your hero out of position whenever you misclick that creep. So another benefit of using the A stop A technique is it'll help you a lot in 1v1s, especially as a melee hero. So one option you can do is to have auto attack on, in which case, if I put auto attack on, then I can just stop cancel my auto attack, meaning that I can just push stop and then get the creep like right at the end. And that will allow you to fake out CSing, and that'll actually help you a lot, especially in melee 1v1s. But I personally prefer auto attack off, and then I will just do the SA back and forth, right? Like that's my personal method, and that will help you fake out a lot of CS and mind game your opponent, making it so if you're going for the CS or the deny, it's less obvious when you're going for it. Like if this creep's about to be hit by both of you and I'm just stop canceling like this, it's something that I watched a lot of pro players do, and I was losing my 1v1s quite heavily, and it was pretty much the main issue why I was losing my 1v1s is because it will gain you about 2 or 3 CS in a 1v1 situation in the mid lane and the side lanes. And even though the side lanes are a lot of dual lanes at the current moment, there's still a lot of times where the supports actually aren't involved in the CSing. So using that attack, stop, cancel, attack to basically mind game your opponent can be a quite useful way to secure an extra couple CS. So brief summary, I think smart attack move in combination with quick attack and making sure you use this technique in order to CS and deny is super important to practicing your CSing and honing it on any hero. It's more important, honestly, on ranged heroes, but even on melee heroes, you can prevent that turn rate affecting your CSing and also can prevent you from minorly stepping out of position. Because if you intend to attack, you will click A, and if you intend to move, you will right click. And I think that's super important that you, in your mind, have those things separated. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tips and tricks video on CSing mechanics, at least at the most efficient level that are by my recommendation. But like I said, if you like it a different way and you think that that's going to best suit you, then stick to it. But if you have the capacity or desire to swap up your mechanics in order to make them more efficient, I do believe this is your best option.